Hi girlfriends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin if you're new here, and if you're not new then welcome back. I have so much to cover in today's video and I'm so excited to get this video out for you guys because this is one of my most requested videos. Every single time I post an Instagram picture I always get DMs and comments asking how I edit them and pretty much just how I set up my feed. So I am going to show you all of that in today's video. I have so much to cover, so I definitely want to get right into it. Just to clarify, this video is my opinion, what I think looks best, and a tutorial on how my Instagram feed looks. Before we get into the video, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, my food Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post every single Wednesday and Sunday, so make sure you put the bell on so you don't miss out. Also, really quickly, I have to say thank you so much for 25,000 on YouTube. I can't even comprehend that many people would want to sit and watch a video of mine, so seriously, from the bottom of my heart, I love and appreciate you. With that all out of the way, let's get right into how I edit my Instagram pictures. So after I take my Instagram pictures, I use 3 different apps, and all 3 of them are completely free. I don't pay any money for my editing. I don't have a preset, anything like that. Everything I use is right on my phone and it's completely free. I'm gonna screen record on my phone and put it up on the screen for you guys to follow along with. But of course, if you have any questions, leave them down below or send me a DM on Instagram. I'm always willing to help you guys out. The first app that I open is Facetune, and the only thing that I usually do in Facetune is whiten the entire background. I'm just going to use one of my recent Instagram pictures for you guys so I can have an example to give you guys a visual. And what you need to do is click retouch and then whiten, and it will give you a little tool where you can draw everywhere that you want whitened, and you can also erase, which is a really good quality. That's why I prefer to use Facetune too. And also you can adjust the amount of whiteness that you want in your picture. So I'm just going to go around and whiten every single part of the picture that is behind me, and make sure that I don't get it on my clothes, on my skin, on my hair, anything like that, because it will be super obvious. The reason I do this is just because I think it looks better on my feed when all of my pictures have a similar colored background. So the whiter I put it, the lighter my feed will look, and I just prefer that look. I just think that looks super sleek and pretty. So now I'm just going to bring it up to about 48. That's usually the number I do for all of my pictures. I don't know why, I just like it at that point. After I've gone in and made sure that there's no white on my skin or my clothes, as you can see there's some right here. So I'm just going to take the eraser tool and make sure that that's all cleaned up, and then zoom out. You can also press the 2 little squares on the bottom right to see the difference, which I love to do, and it also helps show where there might be white that you don't want. After I've checked it completely and got it to the whiteness that I love, I just press the check mark, and then that is the only thing I usually do in Facetune unless I do need to go in and smooth anything. This tool is kind of hit or miss for me. It kind of depends if I'm going to use it. Most of the time if I do use it, it's on my highlights, because sometimes the sun will pick up some strands of hair and just make it look kind of stringy. For the sake of this video, I'm going to edit my hair in this, but normally I probably wouldn't have in this picture. So same as the whitening tool, you just want to press the smooth button and then draw in everywhere that you want smooth. And again, I love Facetune too because you can adjust how smooth or how white you want that area. I'll usually put that up to about 40, but again, it depends on the picture. So now I'm going to save that, and so far we have the whitened background and we smoothed out some of the errors in the picture. Another little tip that I've definitely learned along the way is to make sure you're saving your picture and not screenshotting it and cropping it, because you will lose quality that way. It might look a little blurry or just the colors might look weird, so I always make sure to save it. Now we're going to go in my absolute favorite app for editing. It's called SnapSeed, and I'm going to open the app. This is completely free as well. I've never paid anything for any editing app. There's 3 options on the bottom: looks, tools, and export. You want to click tools, and then at the top left there's an option for tune image, so I click that, and then at the bottom there is 4 options and I press the second one to pull up this menu. This is another thing that will obviously depend on the picture just a little bit. I do want to go into every single thing I do for my pictures. Most of my pictures do have a similarity to them, so this is kind of like the rule of thumb because I pay attention to the lighting and background where I take my pictures, but I will get into that a little bit later in the video. So for this specific picture, after clicking that bottom tool, the first thing I'm going to do is click brightness. I always bring my brightness up because I love that bright look on your feed. For this picture, I think I'm going to go up to about 20, and then this might be a little confusing to explain, but as you see on the left side of the screen, what you want to do is hold down the screen and then scroll up, and that's how you get to the contrast, saturation, and so on. So moving on to contrast, what I always do is bring the contrast up. I'm just going to do about 9. I don't want to bring the contrast up a little too high because I feel like it can darken the picture, and again, I like it to be bright. Now let's go on to saturation. I love bringing the saturation up because I feel like it just pops all of the colors out, and on the feed it looks really good, especially if you plan out your outfits or just having a colorway. It looks really, really nice. Again, I will help you guys with that aspect of colorways and stuff like that later on in the video, but I'm gonna bring the saturation just up to about 14 to 15. Do 14. Now ambiance is the next one, and I swear the ambiance can take this picture to the next level. I usually bring this up to about 5. It just makes it look like you had perfect lighting with literally any picture. This is probably the reason why I love this app so much, is for the ambiance tool alone. Now moving on to highlight, I like to bring the highlights up also because it brightens the picture and it just enhances the whites and the brightness of the picture, which again, you guys can tell I really love that. And moving on to shadows, normally I don't touch anything for the shadows in this specific app, and I move on to warmth. This is going to depend on where my feed is at. Sometimes I do have a lighter, cooler feed, and then sometimes I do have a warmer feed, and right now you guys can tell my feed is a lot more warm toned, so I'm just going to bring it up a little bit, around 10, just to bring the entire picture together. Then that's all. What you want to do is hit the check mark in the right hand corner and then press export and then save. Again, we want to save it and not screenshot it. The reason I like to click modify is because sometimes I'll go through all of this work to edit a picture and then I accidentally click the one that's not edited and end up posting that one and not realizing it until a day or 2 later. So I just like to click modify to be sure. But that is the only thing we're doing in SnapSeed. There's just one more app that I like to include, and surprisingly that is just the Instagram app. What I do is click on the picture and I bring that up on the feed. The only thing that I like to do in Instagram is put the shadow up a little bit. I usually go between like 20 and 30, and that just gives it kind of like the whimsical look. And again, on the feed, when all of my pictures have that shadow effect, I just think it looks so seamless. I have just been obsessed with that lately. So that is actually the last thing that I do to my Instagram pictures. Going back over everything, we have whiten in Facetune 2, using the smooth tool in Facetune 2. Then in Snapseed, we adjust the brightness, the contrast, the saturation, ambiance, and the warmth, and then also the highlights. So we bring all of those up, upload it to Instagram, and on Instagram, we just bring the shadow up. And that is everything that I do to edit my Instagram pictures. I also get asked a million questions about how I plan my feed, how I make my feed look all cohesive, and it does take a lot of thought and effort, but if you're someone like me who works in social media, then I definitely think having a cohesive feed is beneficial to you and your own brand, and also for someone who's looking at your Instagram feed will hopefully end up with them being more interested in your feed. And there's nothing wrong with switching up your theme time and time again. So for example, like a month ago, I was a lot more cooler toned and I was wearing darker clothing, stuff like like that. And now I've like completely transformed it into more of like a summery, pastel, and floral theme, which I have been loving lately. The very first thing that goes into planning your Instagram feed is finding your outfits. So for example, since my feed is a lot more summery and floral right now, I wouldn't necessarily post a picture in this outfit with the leopard print top just because I feel like it wouldn't flow, it would not make my feed look cohesive, or I would just save those pictures until it fits better on my feed. Which leads me into number 2, which is having a feed planning app. One of the apps that I love to use is UNUM. I actually learned about it from one of these types of videos. What you want to do is just plan your feed and kind of go in and see, does this picture look better posted first or second, and so on. Having a feed planning app is definitely beneficial. One of the things that I always do is get multiple pictures in the outfit that I'm wearing. I just personally love the look of having a few pictures that match. For example, I might post a full body pic and then the next one is more of like a detail shot. So that is pretty much every single tip I have for you guys for my current Instagram feed. I hope that you guys got something from this video. Maybe if you're just starting out on social media or you're just looking for more of a cohesive summery feed. I hope that you guys have the best week and I will see you guys on Wednesday.